Hello, this is Juanel of the PowerQuee. This video series will be called the D.S.JSP. That stands for Duodenal Switch. My name, Juanel Primus. I'm going to try to talk about the things that are pertaining to my surgery, the Duodenal Switch. I had it back in February of last year, almost a year ago. It's January, about the 17th, 18th. I can't remember. But anyway, and I had this surgery because at the time I was not really doing well with my weight loss. I've never been a small guy. I'm 6'4" and I carried my weight well, but it was still a struggle just to go through life. I had high blood pressure, diabetes. I no longer have diabetes, but I still deal with high blood pressure issues, but not as much. It's very much controlled and regulated. Now, as far as other health complications I had was asthmatic and various other issues with my joints and bones and things like that, which made it hard for me to just survive. I had issues with getting around. I had to use a scooter to go places, and it just wasn't good. Now I can walk more. I still use a scooter because my joints are not the best, but I still use a scooter, but it's very rarely. Everything else, my asthma's gone, my high blood pressure's gone, my diabetes is gone, my high blood pressure's less. I'm able to control a lot of the other issues that came about because of the high blood sugar levels, mostly issues with my gut and other things, getting infections, all sorts of stuff like that. I had cornea surgery just because my hereditary issues in my family have issues with our eyes. So I had 2 cornea transplants. If you could look real close, you'll actually see the ring around my eye. See that right there, the line that goes around there in the lighter thing? That's where I had cornea transplant surgery. So because of that, I would get infections, and very much so because of the high blood sugar issues. And now, not so much. I can keep them at bay a lot more easier with the medication they give me. So there's that. Now, after the surgery, did I say that I was 400 pounds before surgery? After the surgery, my surgery was in February. After the surgery, I lost a great deal of weight really fast. In the first 2 months, I lost about maybe 60 or 70 pounds. And then the following 2 months, I lost another 50 pounds. And then since then, I've been losing weight at a regularly but steady, slow rate. And I still lose weight. I lost, within the past 2 weeks, I lost 3 pounds. So I'm still losing weight, and it's still coming off, down to 206.8 right now. And I started out at 400.8 pounds. So, it's lost a lot of weight, and it's a great difference. It's a big difference in how I feel, how I carry myself, how I interact with people. I'm talking to you here, and I can feel a great difference in the way I'm talking. Back, when I was heavier, I can hear my breathing. People can hear me breathe. I'd be like that, and it was really bad. Actually, if you look at my other videos, you can hear it. You can hear very much my labored breath. Now I don't have that. I don't even hear it. I don't notice it, and I don't snore as much. Actually, I almost don't snore. No one tells me now. I used to, when I'd sleep, people be like, "Dude, you gotta, something." I had sleep apnea issues, and I'd, wake up in the middle of the night. That kind of thing, and this, shock of waking you up without being able to breathe, and then you'd have to sit there for hours, or I'd even wake up and I'd be sitting upright. Like, I knew I was sleeping, but I'd be sitting upright because your body will physically lift you up in certain cases when you can't breathe. So I'd wake up like this, because my body had projected myself upright in order to survive, in order not to die in my sleep, basically. So, yeah, those things are gone. I get a very restful sleep now. When I go to sleep, I'm out, and it's like, when I wake up, I'm like well rested. Never had that before. Here's a funny one. I can shower in less time. That's an interesting one. Not that I took forever to shower before, but because I was so big, and I'd have a seat in the shower, and I'd shower, I'd shave and do all my things, but it took me a lot longer. And now I'm like shave quick and shower quick and dry up quick. I don't have to be sitting in front of the fan. I have a fan on that cools my computer, and it points at me. My laptop, it points at me, and I'd sit here with like my big fan on, my mini fan on, and just sit there just blasting it at myself to cool myself down. I had a window AC and everything else just to keep my room cool. And now I don't need it. My fan stays off. I don't have a window AC anymore. I couldn't sleep without my AC on. I couldn't sleep without a fan on. That fan turns off at night because I'm not using my computer, obviously. So then I could sleep peacefully. I now have a heater. I've never had a heater before. Never in my whole life ever owned a heater. Now I keep a heater on because it just gets cold. I can't take it. I have a clavicle. Look at that. See that? I never had a clavicle before. My whole life. I've never known that existed. I didn't know that bone was in my body. I have armpits. And growing up, it might sound weird. I know for skinny people, y'all are going, what the hell? For fat people, that means something. I never had an armpit. The pit of your arm where, you had that area under your arm where there's, this area. I've never had that. That whole thing was never there as a child. And my friends would make pit fart sounds. And as a boy, that means something. It's funny. It means something because you could sit there and go honk it out in class and people would laugh. But I could never do that because I actually never had a pit. It'd just be, I'd just sit there and no sound. So anywho, these are things in which now I can do this and it makes a sound. I'm like, hey, wow, I could do something I couldn't do when I was a child. I know that's crazy. It sounds creepy to you, but to big people, some of these things actually really mean something. It's the torture of youth, growing up and not being able to do the things your friends can do, not being able to run, not being able to, go out and hang out and, go out late and have do all the things that your other friends can do because they can do that physically, and you just couldn't. My friends used to jump the fences and do stuff like that. They just leap a fence, and I'd have to go and like try to climb over the fence, rip up all my clothes and get scarred up. It was horrible. It was not fun to be a child when you're big. And I look back at it and I go, wow, man, I know that I missed out on some stuff, but I'm happy now. I can go look back at that young boy that was struggling to survive and fit in, and it ain't gonna mean nothing to him now because he's long gone. But tell myself of that person that I remember and go, man, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Just how I saw myself in the mirror. I made a lot of videos over time. Probably not on this channel. You go look up PowerQuee or which is my brand, and some of the other things. I have other names out there. Juanel, Juane, the number 1 letter L. You look at that, and I have some things where I'm singing or whatever, and you'll see my face is very much different. I look different. I sound different. When I sing differently. My voice is different. I can hold a note longer, in which was always a problem. I just, and I'll just, end it there because I didn't want to go any further because I would never be able to breathe the next note. Now I can actually belt a note and do it for a long time. To a singer, that's important. And I was in a choir at church, and I would have to, pay attention to my breathing and, always focus on where my breathe. Obviously, you should focus on how you're breathing from your diaphragm, regardless as to your size. But that was always my focus. Make sure my breath was deep. Make sure everything was coming from here, because if I was going from anywhere else, I'd be out. I'd probably pass out on stage. And now I can, if I was in the choir, I'm not in the choir anymore, but now I can probably do a lot better, and there'd be a lot less stress on my, less labored on my breathing to sing. And probably my voice has gone down an octave. I always had a higher voice, and now it's deeper, which actually means something. Every time people would call, they were like, "Mrs. Primus?" I'm like, dude, man, I'm a guy. Ask first. Ask if I'm a guy that can you speak to, blah, blah, blah. Don't assume that I'm a lady. And yeah, my voice has gotten a lot deeper. It's still high for a man, but it's definitely deeper for what it was. Which means I'm not a true tenor anymore. Kind of sucks because I kind of like being a high tenor. So anyway, such is life. But the trade-off is a lot better. My difficulties with surgery mostly was, oh, here's a funny thing. You see this? You can't see this here, but right where the line is a pillow. Ever since I've been doing videos, you know, I've been able to lean forward and support myself on my gut. And, you know, my fat stomach would, you know, thing, and that's how I sit in my thing to do these videos. Now that I don't have a big gut, I have to use a pillow so I can support myself and be able to do these videos. It's weird. Yeah, that's another strange thing that, you know, I'm like, oh, that's kind of, and when I do my work, when I'm working on my computers, making whatever I'm doing, I have to sit with a pillow in front of me because it hurts. I actually have ribs now, and I have to lean up against them, so now I can't do that anymore. So I sit up with a pillow in front of me, which is another weird thing that I deal with now. The complications from my surgery was mostly gastrointestinally. One of the weird things they don't tell you, you won't find too much of it on the videos. You'll hear about it. Someone may talk about it, that there's oil. You may have oil or leakage or seepage. When I say this, it's not slight. It's not little. You can't. Okay, if you don't want to hear gross, skip to the end. But it's gonna get weird for the next 2 minutes. It's not a light leakage. It's not something that's like, oh, you know, there's a little bit of oil. When I go, there's a little oil. No, I'm talking about at least an ounce or so of oil when you pass, when you leave, which makes it easier to wipe. Again, it's gonna get gross. It makes it easier to wipe because what's there that coats your leavings is oil. So you wipe and boom, you're done. It's like there's not a lot of waste attached to you because the oil pretty much makes everything slough off. So, sounds bad. Anyway, there's that. And the oil, for me, I don't know about other people, and I have not read too much about other people having this specific issues, but when I can feel that I have to go to the bathroom about a minute or so before I have to actually feel the pressure of going to the bathroom. So, like, at first there's a little bit of oil falls down into your, you know, the creases of your boop button, you call it, we call it, and that causes a burning. Like, when I say burning, the only thing to describe it is like as if you took a peppermint and just shoved it up your sphincter and just sat there with a peppermint or a jalapeno pepper and just rubbed it in. That's the burn. I'm not even, I may be laughing, but that's how it feels. It feels like a pepper has been smeared on your colon and it hurts. And that's what you feel first before I go. And then, you know, you go to the bathroom and that alleviates the pain is still there, but it's a lot less after you go to the bathroom because all the oils are gone. And then, of course, you wipe up. I have to use wipes. I don't just use tissue. I use wipes. Or Tux medicated pad doesn't work. So I wipe and then use baby wipes. And that does help a little. At least to get the oils off. And then, but, you know, you use a lot less toilet paper. Your toilet paper bills would go, like, if you bought a big old case for a year, that case would last you a couple years now, or 3 years now, because you're using a lot less tissue. So that's a good thing. There's that. And then after surgery, I had issues with numbness in my legs because Some people, when they have the surgery, the machine sits on their legs as you get there's a machine that they go in and they do the surgery with, and it sat on my hip, and that caused a circulation issue with my legs, and I was numb for the first, well, up until recently, and now I still have slight numbness in my thighs, but it's not as bad now, because yeah, I massage it every day, and it sort of got rid of that numbness, and with the numbness came tingling, with the tingling came pain. Dryness, I get winter dryness. So I always had winter dryness because of diabetes, but now I get winter dryness, and it, like, the itching is like, first it starts with your legs, and if you don't lotion up, or I use Vaseline intensive care, and if you don't grease up, in my case, you end up having issues with the colon, because the winter dryness just automatically goes into for some strange reason, into your colon and makes you itchy there. Those are the fun things that I don't want to talk about, but I have to. You end up forcing a lot more because going to the bathroom is not easy, and you can cause tearing, bleeding, fissures, all of the other stuff. You can get colitis, you can get all sorts of problems with because your bowel movements are not as smooth as they used to be. So I have to use Metamucil. I also do cleanses, which helps with the oil issue, and also helps with the other colon issues like polyps or stuff like that may form because your movement's a lot more rough. I don't eat overly processed. I don't eat processed meats. I don't eat overly cooked meats. Chicken is a rare thing. I tend to eat more fats, and which causes more oil. But because if I eat anything with too much protein, it hurts going down, it hurts coming out. So it's just not fun to eat more protein. So you tend to do more vegetables, and that becomes your desire. It's not something that I'm like, oh man, I have to eat vegetables. No, actually you tend to like it. You actually end up, because it just how it tastes and how it goes down, and you can do more with food. Oh my goodness. I'm a cook. I cook. I love cooking. And as a fat guy, that was one of my joys. Now, when I cook, and I still cook like a fat guy, so I cook a lot of food, and end up with a freezer full of junk. But now when I cook and I'm like, I cook better things. I cook more savory meals. I watch Martha Stewart. I used to hate watching cooking shows. I'm like, I'm not learning crap from them. Now, I learn how to make proper sauces, rubes, and how to start a good flavor in your meals, and you get more savory, more flavorful meals, because you're not eating because you're hungry. You're eating because you want to eat, and I don't get hungry anymore. I still have not gotten that hunger yet. I don't have the ghrelin. The ghrelin's still gone, so I can go for a day without thinking about food. And have gone many days with actually here's another weird thing. My first month after surgery, I didn't eat. For a whole month, I didn't eat at all. I'd have juice. I drink juice and frozen drinks and stuff like that, but I did not eat food. I didn't even eat ice cream, which is bad anyway to eat ice cream when you're just after surgery. But I didn't eat anything. I had a whole month in which I didn't eat. They admitted me. They were scared for me. They were like, how are you surviving? Your vitamin levels, your minerals, your proteins, and everything. So when they tested me, it's an interesting story, is that when they tested me, my protein levels were perfect. My vitamin levels were just a little bit down, especially my E, but everything else was good. Everything else that they were testing, because they thought that maybe I was killing myself, was not, because my body was able to handle. Your body just, I don't know if your fat stores protein or whatever, but my body was getting what it needed to survive. And when they tested it, they were like, the proteins that were being shown in your urine and everything else was not from your muscles, so you're not wasting. So that was another interesting thing. So that's pretty much it. I have more to say. I can sit here for about a good hour, but you don't want to make these videos too long. But this is one out of the PowerQuee. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. If you're looking to get it, I would do it. It made my life so much better, so much easier, so much more joy. Look at my face. My skin's better, everything else. Go back and look at my other videos. of anything that I've done, and you'll see I was a lot less healthy. So I really am glad that I did it. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. Have an awesome, wonderful day. This is Winnell of the Power Queen. Thank you.